Welcome back to Timberborn and my Diorama challenge. So we are in the Diorama map as always, and we have just started to build up our industrial capacity along the river using an enormous water wheel. And it feels like the next step that we need to take is to build our metal economy. Because what we need, our goal was to have a thriving beaver town. Oh wait, we got some beavers that are homeless. Luckily, we are working on building some homes for them, so hopefully that works out. Anyway, a thriving beaver town run by engines. That was the goal that I set for myself, and we're actually weirdly close to it, to the point where I feel like I might need to set another parameter for our success. Because just getting to engines, that's a pretty straightforward technology. We just need gears and metal, and that won't be that hard to reach. I think what we need to say is not just that we have engines at all, but that the engines are actually running a thriving beaver colony. And how do we define thriving? I think thriving needs to be defined by this number up here. So having a look at this, basically each amenity that you add to a beaver's life gives them some happiness. And all that happiness gets aggregated into this final sort of average well-being score. And so what I think we need to do is set a well-being threshold that we have to hit, in addition to having engines. So I'm not sure exactly what a good threshold would be. My most successful beaver colonies are up in the mid-40s. And mid-40s might be a little bit high, because each of these things basically has the capacity to add one or two to the overall number. So I'm thinking things like the carousel. Like, that takes a lot of infrastructure to build up. These awe monuments take just a lot of sheer capacity to build up. So I'm thinking that we want to set a goal. So right now we're only at 8. We're pretty low. So we need to set a goal, I think, that is somewhere in the 30s. Why don't we tentatively say that our goal is 30? So we're going to try to not only get engines up and running, but also get our overall well-being above 30. That might end up being too easy. We might want to set it a little higher, 35, 40. Let's see how we feel when we get there. Because I guess I'm just not enough of an expert in this game to just automatically in my gut know what a high or low number is. But let's aim at 30 and see if that feels appropriate. Okay. Oh, hey, Starfire Drogon. Thanks for joining us in the chat. I don't think I've ever met you before. Welcome. And, Coalition wants to know why I changed my glasses. So I used to have these, like, more silvery colored glasses. They were a little bit smaller, and they were had a little bit more, I think, character to them than these. These are a little bit more like just standard old man glasses. The reason I did that was because I've got a big fat Irish head, and my head is actually very, very, it's very large just on the skull level. But also, as I get older, I'm getting just like a fatter head. There's just a layer of fat there in my head. And so it's really wide. And so my old glasses were just normal sized glasses for normal humans. And so they were just constantly pinching into the sides of my head. And when I've got like a lot of hair, that's not a big deal. Because the hair kind of cushions it a little bit. But when I've got like, when I like really sort of buzz my hair down, which I do fairly frequently, you can actually see like little bulges of head fat. I know you really wanted to talk about this. Little bulges of head fat on either side of my glasses, and it like leaves a mark, and it kind of hurts and irritates. And so I deliberately went to the glasses place saying, I want larger glasses that will more comfortably fit the size of my head. So that's what I ended up with. This is close to the same style, but it's got a more prominent sort of like wire underneath the lenses, and it's got less of sort of a sharp and distinctive shape. So they just look more like traditional glasses. So I don't think they look quite as good, but they feel better on my head. Excuse me. And that's kind of got to be the priority when you're an old man. Fallen Actual wants to know if I've thought about contacts. I can't poke myself in the eye. That's just not a thing I can do. That's like a body horror thing that I can't just put my finger up against my eye. It's just not possible. So yeah, no, I'd much rather have glasses than contacts. Coalition says, I feel you. I've had the same problem. So yeah. So, okay. Let's focus on the game. We can keep talking about this, but let's make sure we're actually making some progress on this beaver town. So, what's going on with these houses? Why are we not... It's too far from a... Oh, right. I put the freaking houses here. I never put a path to the houses. Okay, let's start there. So these houses need paths. How are we going to get there? There's a couple of different ways we could go. I think maybe the most straightforward way, though, is to come off this and yeah, I think that might be what we want to do. So, okay. So let's, again, I'm trying to be as space efficient as I possibly can. And what that means is anywhere where I've got a path next to a platform, I want to build storage so that we can use that platform space to not just be a platform, but also hold stuff. And that means that I don't need to build warehouses in other places that would take up valuable real estate. So we can do that, for instance. And what do these hold? I don't know. I put wheat in the other one. I put flour in the other ones. Let's put wheat in these. Just because, I don't know. Eventually we'll need to add wheat to our economy if we want to raise our well-being score. And then once we've got that, we can just kind of... The rest of this is easy mode. We can get around to the other side of the building just by building a bunch of straight-up platforms. So we'll do that. So that should keep my construction beavers busy. So I'll... yeah, so we got some homeless beavers that are dragging down our well-being. And actually, our population is growing kind of fast. I'm nervous that maybe it's going to outstrip us. And we're going to start having food problems and water problems again. So that's making me a little bit nervous. So it makes me wonder if I should slow this down. We got 4 unemployed beavers right now. I'm thinking, let's disable this breeding tank for a bit. Just let's slow down our growth just a little bit while we figure out what's going on. So building up our industry over here. I'm thinking I'd like to build another water wheel. But the question is where? Because just aesthetically, I'd love for it to line up with this water wheel. But there's a problem, which is there's a path here. Now, I don't know if beavers are actually using this path very much. If they're not using... Okay, one beaver just went across it. If they're not using this path... Oh, wait, no. Okay, here's my question. Can a platform be built on top of this? It cannot. Okay, yeah, so what I want to do is I want to build a water wheel that is lined up with this water wheel, which means it needs to be anchored, like there or there. I think it's here. It needs to be anchored here. This is a path, and I don't want to, like, make a detour around it that eats into farmland. And I can't move in this direction because the water wheel is going to be here. But I think I might be able to build a bridge over it. So that's what we're going to attempt. So let's break that path for now. Let's slap another large water wheel on here. And then let's start figuring out, while the beavers are sort of working furiously in the background, let's kill, without killing the levee. We do not want to kill the levee. That's really important. Very easy to accidentally do. Let's see. Okay, so how... I'm assuming that I can build a bridge across this, but where can I build a bridge across it? Okay, let's unlock the small system. Okay, I can't build it there. So so that's not going to work. What if this is too high? Can I build it then? Yes, I can. Okay, so we can build a bridge. This is such nonsense. We can build a bridge. Why am I doing this? Okay, we can build a bridge over this. Which means we can have stairs going like that. This is so dumb. And then we can have stairs like this. Oh, building unnecessarily elaborate things is tight. All right. So the path is still going to be there. The water wheel will also be there, and it's just going to be freaking elaborate. And that's just how we roll. Okay, a drought has started, which means we're not going to be making gears anymore for a little while, but we've got 57 stored up, so that's really nice. So now that we've got the second water wheel, we can use its capacity. Oh, yeah, we've really got it. We can use its capacity to fuel a refinery. So refineries, let's make sure we know how big those are. refineries are 4 long. They're 4 tiles long, which means, let's see. What I was hoping was that it would line up nicely. This is going to be a little bit weird. Okay, so there's a lot of other things we can eventually build, like a paper mill, for instance, or a printing press, or a grist mill, which is a food thing. And a lot of these... Oh yeah, so this has got a doorway on the side. So we could imagine that we could put a 3-tile thing here, and then a 4-tile thing here. So I'm going to be planning ahead and saying that, yeah, that eventually we're going to want some kind of 3-tile nonsense here. I'll stick that there, but then we're going to build the actual footprint of the metal of the refinery here. The actual refinery there. Build a little thing across with a path. And then just to make sure these two are sharing energy, because basically this, when the river is flowing, this makes more energy than this needs. This might often make less energy than this needs. And so what we want to do is make sure that so this one is taking power from this. This will be taking power from that. And right now they're separate. But if we link them, then they're going to share everything. And that will be good. Let's make sure that beavers can get to this spot to construct these things. But yeah, okay, so the beavers they've expanded the house. Yes, so now we've got no unemployed beavers. That's good. We're going to start building up our metal capacity. But one thing this is not doing, this is getting us closer to having engines. But this is not actually raising any beaver well-being. So while we're waiting for them to build all of this nonsense and waiting for this drought to get done, let's start thinking about how we can raise beaver well-being. One thing we can do is potatoes make them happier than carrots. So let's stick some more potatoes in there. Make sure we're staying on top of the whole potato situation. But then what? Okay, we've got a certain bare minimum of those over there. I'm thinking we should probably invest in wheat and bread. Wheat and bread would be a good idea. Which makes me look a little bit hungrily at where these berries are. Because that might be the ideal place to start growing some wheat. Unless we want to cross over this direction. I mean, we could actually just say, let's, take all of the carrot fields that are currently not being harvested very much because we're just tapped out on carrot space. We could just use some carrot field space to grow wheat. And I think it probably wouldn't hurt us that much on the carrot front. But, I mean, as we get more and more beavers, they are going to get eventually ahead of our current carrot flow. So it makes me think that maybe actually we should just pick a new place to start growing wheat. Because, just in case you don't know, one of the ways that our well-being is dropping. One of the ways that beaver well-being is increased is by adding different foods to their diet. Now, chestnuts are one thing that we could add. We've got some mature chestnut trees now that are working on actually growing nuts. So that is definitely a thing we could do. And actually, we could start expanding our chestnut fields in this direction. And then we could replace, once we've chopped down all the trees we want to chop down in this area, we could replace this guy with a gatherer to gather chestnuts. And then we can start grilling chestnuts. That's one way we could expand. But wheat is another way. And so, I'm just trying to think. Oh, we've got 7 unemployed beavers right now. So, yeah, we definitely... Slowing down our growth is probably a smart move. Let's slow it down a little bit. A little bit more. Oh, hey, so let me catch up with the chat again real quick. So, Fallen Actual just subscribed again, and I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. And then let's see what else is going on. Fallen Actual just giving a bunch of subs to everybody. Thank you, Fallen Actual. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. Oh, no, Fallen Actual was trying to do it quietly, was trying to do it, the Christian way, where you don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. I apologize for calling attention to your generosity. I know that's embarrassing to be such a good person. Okay, so since I think we're not going to be expanding our tree chopping capacity out in that direction, I think what I should probably do is let's void out more of these pine trees. And actually, let's void out these two. So that when these pine trees grow and are harvested, we can replace them with more maples. And then... yeah, so and we're starting to grow more chestnuts down here. That's good. But really, I think what I might want to do... how far does this thing... so this farmhouse can reach this entire area down here. As can this farmhouse. And so really... what I should probably do... okay, yeah. So let's build a little staircase here. So that when I build a gatherer down here to gather chestnuts, they can also gather dandelions. But then, let's be cavalier with our entire berry situation. And let's just uproot most of these berries. This is potentially a sketchy idea, but we've got berry capacity over here. And these are conveniently very close to existing farmhouses and space for further farmhouses should we need it. And so I'm thinking this is actually the best place to put wheat fields. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some wheat fields here, and then once we've built up a little bit of wheat, we can start building mills and things like that. Oh, crap! We have... okay, good. Okay, good. For a second, I thought we had lost all of our water, but no. We only lost the water. The water has fallen now down below the level of this shelf, which is fine. I think it dries out a little bit of the edges of our fields, maybe, but not too badly. We're okay. It's good to see what happens when this happens. This shelf up here dries out completely, though, which makes this a very sketchy place to put wheat. I'm glad I didn't put wheat here. This is a good place for sunflowers. This is not a good place for wheat. Because sunflowers can survive brief dry periods. But basically, the reason that happened is because I added the new water pump capacity. So, we've got a new problem to solve, which is I don't actually want this to fall down that low every single drought. That's going to be bad. So now, okay, we've cleared out this area. Let's do what we were already doing. Let's finish planting some wheat here. And let's do a similar thing over here. Let's just get a little bit of space for wheat over here, too, so that we've got it being made in multiple places. But then, maybe after we've, built the ability to make metal, maybe our next priority is to come up with another way to preserve water. Which might mean building a cistern over here. So if we were to build a cistern, where would we want it to go? I think we probably... this path is useful. I think we would still want a path across this. But maybe we could start building, or at least planning to build levees across this. And then build some floodgates that can release... that can store up water and then release water down into the rest of this place. I think that might be what we need to do. So let's finish planting this wheat right here. But then let's plot out where we want this to be. We've got plenty of logs. So let's say what we're going to want is to cross this, and then now water will traditionally be up to this level. And so we probably just want levees all the way across this and then floodgates that go higher. We're not going to build that initially. We're not going to build that initially because we don't want to block up the water until we're actually ready to block it off. But that means that if we're going to be building floodgates on top of these, that means they need to go 3 higher than this. So, if we were to build a cistern right here, That's not what I wanted. It would be about that tall. And how would we get up to it? I think the only purpose this path has is to come over here and get on top of this. So I'm thinking maybe what we actually want to do is let's kill these stairs. And then let's build some taller stairs that can reach 3 higher. So that means we'll need a platform here that's that high, right? No, we need a platform that's one shorter. No, we need one that high. Yeah, we need one that high. And then we need to step it down a few steps. That, and like that. And build these stairs up like that. And once we've got that, then we can get rid of that path and build across it the rest of the levees. And then we'll need a way to sort of to get to the other side. So what we can do is build something like this. I think that'll be submerged a lot. That's not the best. So no, I mean, that's the cheapest solution for now. And actually, I can replace it with a bridge later. So actually, yeah, that's the cheapest solution for now. Let's just go with that. Let's just make that our solution. And let's just cover everything with paths. So now, beavers can get around on here. Oh, wait, I didn't quite build all the levees I needed. There we go. Like that. And you know what? Part of me actually wants to just connect this over here. Like that. Okay, so this is now... We'll basically build the outer shell of a cistern over here to store water up so we can release it during the drought seasons. It's going to take us a long time to build that. We're not going to build the part that actually holds the water back in the front until we've got the entire rest of it going. Okay, so the Coalition is running a poll. He wants to know what the best name for a beaver town would be, and I'm not reading those answers, Coalition. But they all are meant to sound like innuendos, and one of them has to do with nuts. And so Fallen Actual is asking, do beavers actually eat nuts? I can definitely attest that in this game, beavers do eat nuts. And we're going to show that by putting a gatherer right here. And so this gatherer, once they're actually settled, they're going to start harvesting nuts from these chestnut trees. I need to actually come up with some storage for chestnuts for that to actually work. So where should that storage go? I guess, well, first things first. Get rid of this tiny tree that we don't need. Prioritize that. But then, yeah, let's put some storage for chestnuts over here. But ultimately, once we've built up some chestnuts, what we're going to want is another grill like this to grill the chestnuts. I should start thinking about where I'd like to put that grill, where that grill should live. Okay, good. We've cleared that up. So let's put a couple little places here where we can store chestnuts as we pick them. And unfortunately now I'm going to okay, so what I'm going to need to do is prioritize down this entire deal because basically right now, like, this is such a huge job. It's going to take the beavers forever to do this. And so in the meantime, they're going to be shirking almost every other job I give them in favor of this, unless I make it natively, like, naturally sort of down prioritized. So that's what I'm doing. I'm down prioritizing it. So now, by default, anything else, any other job that I assign, let's make this part of it actually normal priority. Any other job I assign will by default be higher priority than that. Let's finish building this apartment just because we feel like it. And check it out! While we were doing that nonsense, we got ourselves a refinery. So we've got Renji the Beaver working in here, and it's turning scrap metal into metal blocks. You know what we don't have? A place to store metal blocks. So let's figure out where that belongs. I guess I could just keep adding to my storage tower. Actually, yeah. No, that's going to be real easy. Barely an inconvenience. Let's stick that right there. Let's make... This is where we keep metal blocks. And then let's build some platforms from the upper story that lead to it. There we go. Okay, this little square here is wasteful. Not a huge fan of that. Don't have a lot of great alternatives, though. Okay, let's kill that path. Oh, wait, whoops. Okay, high priority. This is high priority. Build that. Because I think one way that we can increase beavers' well-being is giving them an amenity right here. Let's make a shrine. So there's going to be a shrine right outside that apartment where beavers can fulfill their spiritual needs. And so actually, let's think about that for all over this place. There's like, okay, we've built up over 1,000 science. And there's just a lot of very simple sort of well-being things that we can add that will like markedly start increasing this number, which include, actually, one of the easiest ones to do is decorations. So right now, let's see here. We've got a handful of... Okay, this requires a little bit of metal, but do we have a little bit of metal? We do. Let's actually unlock this very expensive bell. And let's stick it in a place where every beaver is going to run by it. So let's have a look at these beavers. They're all just sort of milling about. You know, we have not given them enough to do. These beavers are starving for entertainment. You know what? That's going to have to be, I think, our next goal. So we've built up our capacity to make metal. Let's have a... So when beavers are climbing up to their apartments, I think all the beavers, for the most part, I think need to sort of pass through this area to get places. Now that I've added this, they also need to pass through this area. I'm just wondering, where's the best place to stick a decoration where every beaver is likely to see it? I'm thinking that actually the place where I stuck this shrine might be where I want to do it, which means we don't want the shrine anymore, at least not right there. So the shrine was a good idea, but what I think we should probably do instead is stick that right there. Stick some storage here. Stick another platform here. And then... Now, can you build a platform on top of a shrine? It looks like you cannot. So wherever you stick a shrine, that's the top of whatever you're doing. Oh, let's figure out what this stores. This stores more chestnuts. I don't know. So maybe, actually, what I want is a little bit more storage here. And this will store grilled chestnuts. And then another little platform. And then let's build a new shrine right here, next to where this one is. Let's kill this shrine. And then, like, just in the most visually pleasing spot, let's stick this bell, this decoration. And so basically this town is going to be like the town in Andor, where all of, like, social life is built around this bell that gets rung every day. So we've got just enough metal to build this. And so we're kind of... I like using this bell as sort of like proof that we've achieved our metal goals, is because it requires a small amount of metal. We couldn't have built it before, but now we can. So come on, get it. Get in there, beavers. Okay, so we've rebuilt our shrine. That's good. And let's move this rubble out of here. So what is it? Okay, we've got everything. Yes, we've got the bell. So I'm pretty sure that this bell is actually going to ring every day. That's actually, like, literally a thing that it does. So we should listen for it. Like, when night falls, or maybe when the day begins, when is it supposed to ring? Oh, every time I click on it. And also at the beginning and end of the workday. So let's check out this bell. There we go. It rang. Awesome. All right, so we have built up our metal capacity. Let's have a look at our resources here. So it looks like we don't have any. Okay, we have got a bunch of scrap metal, a little bit of metal. So we don't. I don't think we need more scrappers because they're already staying ahead of the metal production. So yeah, so I think we're going to continue working on this cistern, but we should also come up with some solutions for beaver entertainment next time. So one thing we could do is decide that we have made these towers tall enough and actually start putting things on the roof. One thing we can do is start using our water space for some forms of entertainment that require water. Like, ooh, actually, maybe what this skinny thing is for. Let's look at showers. How big is a shower? Yes, this is what we want right here. Let's build a shower. So one of the things that beavers like is to be wet. Beavers love to be wet. Everyone loves a wet beaver. And so because the beavers like to be wet, you can make showers for them that satisfy their wetness desire. Let's see here. So Fallen Actual says, on a side note, I love games like this and RimWorld, but managing priorities for me always gets out of whack. I can never seem to keep my pawns or beavers in check, doing them what I want to do. La Coalición says, my favorite one is Tropico, actually. And Fallen Actual says, yeah, that's another good one. So, yeah, let's see here. And let's... more stuff that Fallen Actual said. I have a pretty regular Twitch schedule. I know working takes up a lot of time and throws off scheduling here and there, but is there a pretty reliable time to catch me live? The most reliable time is between noon and 12:30 Pacific time on a typical workday. I'm usually able to make it on those at that time. I agree with you that basically that the way to be good at being a Twitch streamer is to be regular, is to be predictable. And unfortunately, because my life is a little bit chaotic, because I've different kid schedules every single day, and a lot of my work schedules adapt to support the kid schedule, it can be a little bit chaotic, and sometimes I just have unexpected work things where I'm like, oh crap, actually I need to something carried over after an 11 o'clock meeting and I need to do it during lunch rather than having a normal lunch break. That sort of thing. So I can be a little bit unpredictable, and I don't like that. And so I try to make myself as predictable as I can. So I think probably between 12 and 12:30 on a typical weekday is a good rule of thumb. It's the best time to try to catch me. But sometimes it goes longer than that. On Thursday afternoons, I tend to stream only a tiny bit during lunch, if at all, and then I'll stream later on in the afternoon on Thursdays. So that's another good time to catch me. But another thing you can do is follow me on Twitter, because I do tend to post updates on when I'm going to be streaming. Occasionally I'll also stream in the evening, but that's rarer. That's if if things don't go normally for family life on a particular evening. Sometimes I'll just have a bunch of free time and I'll stream. Or that's also when I stream with my kids. When Milo and Calliope stream with me, it's also in the evenings. But that's really unpredictable. That really is just very dependent on when the kids are ready and that sort of thing. Okay, it looks like our wheat has started to harvest. How are we doing on wheat storage capacity? We're doing okay. So, okay, we're just at the point where we're going to want to start building up our wheat situation. So, while in the background, the beavers keep working on building the cistern. Next episode, I'm going to start focusing on getting bread into their mouths, getting to the point where we're actually using wheat to make them food, and also finding other ways to raise their sense of well-being. Because we're up at a solid 8 right now. 9 beavers have got wet fur, and that's not adding a whole lot overall. Some of them are getting sunflowers. Everybody's getting carrots and grilled potatoes. We need to add bread into the mix. We need to start grilling chestnuts. We need to grow more sunflowers, and there's a bunch of aesthetics and decorations and things like that that we can start using that we are not using yet. So there's a lot of options there. So beaver well-being and variety of food is going to be our focus next time around. But for right now, I think we should probably wrap this up because it's getting on towards 2 o'clock. I've got a meeting, and I want to make sure that I'm not late to that. So we'll wrap up not just this episode, but actually the entire stream. But thank you all for hanging out with me. I've had a great time today, and I'm sorry again that I'm always slow to catch up with the chat. I've been trying to at least go when I miss it for a while. I've been trying to come back and at least read the things that I missed. Hopefully, I didn't miss anything that was too obnoxious. And at least I did miss the thing that Fallen Actual didn't want me to see at first, which was the sheer number of gift subscriptions that they were throwing around. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I guess that's it. I guess we know what we're doing next time. So let's wrap this up with a subscribe button and links to other videos. And the next time we jump into the Diorama challenge, that's going to go there.